Hello everybody, good to be back. Welcome to Betway's Weighted to Win. Hopefully you guys have had a good run with Daryl Marie, who's been in very good form. I'm going to speak to him now about his run that he's had and that it continues. That's the most important thing. We're at the vaal, we're on the stand side track, the outside rails at 0, so they'll use up that extreme outside lane when they do up the straight races on Tuesday afternoon. We look forward, of course, a big weekend coming with the Betway Joburg Spring Challenge. It's the start of our season here in Johannesburg, and the Buildway, of course, to the Betway Summer Cup, South Africa's richest race. The next couple of months are going to be really exciting here on the Highveld, I must tell you. So please be sure to be part of all of that action. All right, so let's get straight into it. And Daryl's with me. Daryl, good morning.
Welcome back, Clive.
Thank you. Nice to be back.
How are you feeling?
Oh, well, thank goodness.
You're looking great.
Much better.
Yeah.
Much better.
You're sounding good.
Went through a journey of hell, but we're back in the race, so to speak.
That's great news.
And I'm coming back to somebody who's in great form, which
Well,
is
you know, this
fantastic.
game, you're only as good as your last tip, and Saturday wasn't great, so let's
Wasn't
hope
it?
we get back onto winning ways out at the vaal tomorrow. Now, the opening leg of the bar pot, Clyde. Firstly, did you bring some winners along with you? You can't arrive 3 months later without a winner for the viewers.
No, I've got to get into it. I need a
Okay.
couple of gallops.
Okay.
I need a few gallops, and then I'll be with you.
So the first leg I've gone quite wide. I've got numbers 2, 7, and 8. Mizzen Swords obviously got the fitness. I'm not a little bit wary about that form line. And I think he's looking for further in time to come, but he's got the racing experience and the fitness on his side. In that race was Antonio Gaudi, who came out and ran second in his next start, but I'm wary of that form line. Number 7, One More Star. Now he's been off the track for quite some time since debuting against winners. Very strong form line that. Horses in and around him have won indirectly since then, but and he's related to Malmoose.
Wow.
He's a half-brother to Malmoose. So let's see how he goes. He was debuted over 1400, so I don't know if that suggests that he is looking for further, but I can see him featuring in this sort of lineup. And then number 8, Pioneer Square. Now, you know what? I always say there's no comment in the front of the computer form, right, Clyde? And once again, there's no comment over here. But somebody actually said to me, I mustn't say there's no comment. I must say the trainer refused to comment. Is that correct?
Well, then I must state that.
Okay.
They must state that.
Well,
Accordingly,
let's
if that was the case, then
let's
I can't
touch on it.
imagine any trainer refusing to comment. But anyway,
Well, there's no comments. Let's touch on the dam. The dam one once.
I mean, we're not living in the
1400.
1970s anymore. You know, where they
Yeah.
want to pull off coups and things. For goodness sake,
Yeah.
we're about to step onto Mars. You're worried about not commenting on it first time. Do me a favour.
Okay, well, watch the markets. The booking of Gavin Larina. Now, the dam won once over 1400. She was a half sister to Snow Dance, and he's a half brother to William Rufus, a 7 furlong or 1400 meter specialist.
Okay, well, it's a bipod. It's a tricky one, and it costs 300 Rand. Okay, welcome back. 1400 metres now, second race on the card. And it'll be an up the straight race where number 4, Give Me a Choice, is top of the boards at 22 to 10. Number 7, Corrupt, is 28 to 10, second favourite. And the 2, We Are the Logans, is priced up at 3 to 1. Betway did this for us on Monday, so that's the Monday market. Obviously, things will change closer to race time if you are watching us as we get there. Let's take a look now at, we thought We Are the Logans is the horse to beat. And so we discussed it, Daryl and myself. We said, let's pull out the replay of what happened to We Are the Logans last time. You guys can maybe assess it and give us your view on what actually transpired here. Looking at it first time round, when you'll see We Are the Logans now with Pierre Stratham rode it on this occasion in the rerun. Gavin Larina has got the ride now. Here's a look at the race quickly, and We Are the Logans is in that circle. I thought Daryl took a while to get going.
Yeah, Clyde, but he was carrying top weight. I mean, he was shouldering 62 kgs on the inside track. He had to give them start and weight. And look at how he was doing his best work late. Right up on the inside, Clyde, was a horse called Wolf Mountain, who won over the weekend.
Okay, so that form line's already been franked. How big are you on We Are the Logans?
I like his chances in this race. Listen, I do have respect for a few others, namely his stable companion. Now, Calvin is clearly riding Give Me a Choice, number 4. Take note, he's been scratched twice since his last start. Now, he didn't pick up a penalty and he's wearing blinkers for the first time. But, you know, We Are the Logans was as high as a 106 because of that third place behind Main Defender and Sandringham Summit in the Premiers. He's now off a very, very competitive mark. He's super fit. I think he's going to love the Vaal straight, and he's drawn towards the right side of the track. So I'm going into this race fairly bullish. The others in the race, Pearline O'Crine, the filly, I mean, she was impressive, but she beats a very shallow field. She can up her game. She's lightly raced. And then you got the unbeaten Corrupt. Now, shocked to see him win on debut over the 1200. He will enjoy the extra, but I still of the opinion that we're only going to see the best of him in time to come. Listen, he could be ahead of his current mark, but I'm gonna watch him this time around. I think We Are the Logans, perfect race for him to notch up another career victory. I mean, it has been quite some time.
Yeah, it has been. You're quite right. Okay, so We Are the Logans is the play. Daryl and his PA's bankered the two there, and one later on. You'll notice the second last leg. It's a 240 Rand place accumulator. Welcome back. Right, let's get our pick sixes on now. I'm going to catch a pick six, as they say. Let's get the rolls, the drums rolling. TikTok Addiction is top of the boards at 18 to 10, number 4 in the card. 4 Tyron Zaki and Philisandi and Crawley's riding that. 2 Ambitious Ladies, second favourite at 7 to 2. 1 Plum Blossom is 7 to 1. And 7 to 1 about number 5 Hats Lady. They are betting 8 to 1 and better about the balance. Tricky race, not easy this, to be honest. A lot of these horses in this maiden class of fillies and mares have had quite a few opportunities already to have come through and shown their stuff. But they're back in again in the parade ring to take each other on Tuesday afternoon. And Daryl, open race.
Opening leg of the pick six, I've gone very light, Clyde. Now let's touch on the current favourites, TikTok Addiction. Now there's no doubt she improved with the blinkers last time out. She was staying on in the latter stages, beaten behind a filly called Future Date, who came out and ran third, if I'm not mistaken, over the weekend behind a horse called Willie Meet Again. Yeah, so I can see her featuring. She has had quite a few bites at the cherry, and she looks like she's fairly moderate. I think that's fair to say.
Fair enough.
My punt for the day comes up in this race, Clyde. What price is number 10, Empress Wu?
10 to 1.
10 to 1. Take note for the gin boys. Steals.
Yes.
Alamite's on, Clyde. Have a look at the card changes. Alamite's on.
Okay.
Have a look at the distances she's been competing over.
Too
1200.
short. Too short.
1400. Doesn't this filly look like she's been primed for this now?
Yeah.
Alamite's go on. Now she stepped up in trip, taking on a below average field.
Yes.
If she's better than what she's currently shown on the track over this distance, which I'm assuming she will be, I can only see her make huge improvements. And at 10 to 1 in a shallow field, you have to have a bet on number 10, Empress Wu. Win, lose or draw, she's the value in the race.
Right.
Now, I had a look at her breeding, and she's related to a horse that actually won in Dubai called Forest Waltz. Waltz, I think, over 1800. Let's see how she goes, Clyde. You know, on Saturday, there was a horse that was bred for the extra in Stroon's car. He didn't see out the extra.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that breeding, it's not, there's no certainty. But I think if she stays, she'll go very close. I didn't add anything else. If you want to go a little bit wider, maybe number 8 can show a little bit improvement. She's another one that's lightly raced and going the extra trip for the first time. But I'm saying let's try to land a little bit of a gamble over here. 10 to 1, number 10.
Sure. Cobus Drew's been in good form too. All right. So 4 and 10 in the first legs. Our gamble in the first leg of the pick six. Race number 4, we're going on to now jackpots. It's the Betway Maiden Plate. And this field of how many this Monday morning when we did the show, 13 of them that line up over here in the jackpot. 1 Emblem of War for the Aussie stable. They've been in good form, having a winner over the weekend, and they've got quite a strong hold with a lot of horses in the race from the Aussie stable. 33 to 10 about Emblem of War. Tony Peter's got that horse Roman's Revenge, joint favourite, 33 to 10. 2 Storm Ahead, another Aussie horse, 4 to 1. 4 Gamer is at 13 to 2. The same price for number 8 Snow Moon. And then you've got another Aussie horse in Another Universe, as well as Palace Guard. And there you can get 8 to 1 about the former and 16 to 1 the latter. So the Aussies hold the
The key.
The key or what?
They could. Very interesting that Mr. Azzy and Adam have put number 1 Emblem of War straight into a 1800 after being off the track for nearly a year. That must suggest that he's very fit. So he has been gelded since then. Tongue tie gets fitted. I like his form line. Listen to this, Clyde. Jury's Out has won a few. Second was 20 Drachmas, has won a few.
Yes.
Third was Thunny Player, has won a few. Puerto Plata, I know he's won a few, but it's been in Port Elizabeth. So if he's fit and well, I respect his chances. Storm Ahead, last time out, I don't know if you recall, that's the race that the jockey wasn't comfortable riding him and Jason Gates took the ride. Thrown him in. And the other Azzy runner is bred for the extra, isn't he, Clyde? Number 10, Another Universe. He's by Ideal World out of a Fort Wood mare. So I think he's crying for the extra. Let's see how he goes. Only having his second start, a lot of scope for improvement. And then the two that competed against each other last time out, Roman's Revenge and Mr. Manu Pandaram's horse trained by Lorenzo, number 8, Snow Moon. I've put them both in. I think this is a very tricky contest. I watched that race again. You know, Roman's Revenge did have excuses. He stumbled at the start and he was over racing a bit. But you know what? He got to Snow Moon at the 400 and Snow Moon pulled clear of him in the latter stages. But he could be better than that effort. If you want to go wider, maybe have a look at number 6 of here, Madeira Cliffs. But I went numbers 1, 2, 7, 8, and 10. Okay. I think it's tricky.
Tricky race. There we go. That's the latest from Daryl in terms of the first leg of the jackpot. And there are the numbers that are on screen at the moment. Tricky racing today. It's not easy. It's quite tough, actually. So add on or do what you need to do. Right now, off that snapshot, it's the 200 Rand per. So it's a 1,000-metre handicap sponsored by Betway race number 5 on the card. Again, one of those trickier races, 7-2 the field. St. John Gray, I mean, he's been in very good form, St. John. They're having winners. 7-2, number 4, Secret Foot Cord, Muzayeni. They've teamed up really well, and lots of winners have come from that team. Second choice, number 2, the Navy Lark for Yapi Visser, 9-2, second favourite. Number 6 on the card, what is it? Number 8, Sakale Zakatulu is 9-2. Third choice, and number 3, What a Tiger, is priced up at 5-1 with Munchkin, who's also priced up at 5-1. There's another stable having a lot of winners as well, Lucky Hood or Larkus. Tricky race, or what's the plan here?
It's never ending.
Never ending, huh?
Even gets more trickier as we go deeper into the card, Clyde. We have to touch on What a Tiger. You know, Striker sat on his back once. He won on that occasion, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Beats him Bob. He's not settled in running. Sometimes he can do a little bit much. I think the removal of blinkers could work a treat over here. And he should improve. He did have excuses last time. He didn't get a clean break. And then he was in the open. Secret Cord, 3 kilograms better off the Navy Lock. And he's drawn, more importantly, to the outside. Stable's flying. He must go in.
I like it a lot, actually.
Yeah, you like St. John's stable
no,
currently.
I like that. Secret Cord, it's Tuesday.
I like the look of Munchkin over here. Now, have a look at his last 3 starts, Clyde. Drawn 1 out of 9, the worst going. Drawn 7 out of 7, the worst going. They finished on the inside that day.
Yeah.
3 runs back, drawn 1 out of 10, the worst going. So I think he's had a few excuses in his last couple of starts, and now his ratings come down a bit further. Go back to the Esquivel run, right? He's as much as 2 kilograms better off with What a Tiger for a neck beating. So I think he's going to get some cover in a small field and he'll be produced late. I like Munchkin. If you want to go a little bit wider, there could be some value in Var Park. Yeah, Clyde, and I've only gone 4 runners and I've actually left out the Navy Lock. I've left out Vegas High Rise, Sakala Iskatulu. Yeah, so, I mean, it could actually be a field race.
All right. Not an easy race. It's 3, 4, 6, 9. First leg of Daryl's second jackpot by 3, 4, 7, 8, 10. By 1 and 2. by 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, back with us. Welcome. This is, what are we calling this? The Betway Handicap Fillies and Mares at the 64 level. It's over 1,100 metres, this particular race. Probably a field race. I don't know. Anything can win in a race of this nature. Betway have got Kylie's Angel at 5 to 2. I think it's joint, is it? Yeah, it's joint with Twice as Wild. So those two are top of the boards at the moment. But a very tricky race. 7 to 1, Give Me the Flame. 8 to 1, you can mark them up. 8s, 10s about the others. Anything is throwing a... So you can throw at the board now, whatever whatever comes out, won't be a surprise if it had to win. I don't know, Daryl, about you, what you think of it, unless you're going favourites. Top two.
I'm going to sound a little bit boring over here, but Clyde, once again, a field race. Fillies and Mares handicap. I'm not too sure why Kylie's Angel is the price she currently is. I mean, Tony's made it clear that this daughter by Vercingetorix is very limited. She beats a below par field, and he doesn't expect much from her. And she's got top weight, Storgate number 1. I've actually excluded her out all my perms. Time for Charity, her first run on the high field for quite some time. Have a look at her form. She's beaten 2.5 lengths, 4 lengths, 4.5 lengths. I mean, she's never too far off. And look at what rating she was competing in those starts. Off a 72, a 69, 68. So I think off a 61, drawn towards the right side of the course. I think she'll be thereabouts. Number 3, Time for Charity. Yeah. Give Me the Flame. I don't know if she's lost her early toe, but last time out she never got to the front, and she's been brought right back in trip, which is very interesting. Marker's riding well. She's drawn on the right side. Twice as Wild, the current joint favourite. Now, I can't fault her because she's in really good form. She's having a peak run. She's got early toe, and on a fast run track, I mean, that's already half the battle won. Now have a look at her form lines. I mean, Nazare, Inafix, all open company. Now she's back against Fillies and Mares, so I think she should go well. But then again, she's a 6-year-old mare. Tibetan Voyage, excuses on her debut. Excuses last time out. Peak run, coming down in the ratings. I think we can see an improved run on her behalf. And have a look at number 10, Smelting. Take note, she's not under sufferance this time round. She's got 49 to shoulder. She's drawn towards the right side of the track.
No way.
I think if you're playing wider, you have to include the 7-year-old.
Yeah,
I'm
not surprised.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah. I'm not surprised at all. I mean, a horse like Tibetan Voyage, as you made reference to, is priced up at 20 to 1 and could win a race like this. So, open 3, 4, 7, 8, 10 in Daryl's pick 3 by 1 and 2 by 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10. All right, welcome back. Let's have a look. This is where Dice is running, a very exciting horse. Yeah, he's a 6-year-old at the end of the day, but we know his ability and he's really very, very good. This is the Betway Pinnacle Stakes over 1,100 metres. The Betway market 7 to 10 about Dice. I can't blame them. This horse is extremely good. Second choice Cliffhanger, number 4, 9 to 2. Third choice Tropper Velocis at 6 to 1. And then you got, 7 to 1 about the 2 Quantum Theory. Would there be any reason, Daryl, for Dice to fluff its lines? I mean, I'll talk to Daryl about that moment. We've got a rerun. He has Dice when we watched his last start, came back to action, won, beat Rulership. Watch him on the outside. There's so much horse here.
Absolutely. I mean, it was great to see him bounce back to winning ways, Clyde. And I think towards the end, he won with a little bit in hand over here. So, yes, I mean, there's a lot of people that believe in the second run after a layoff. I think that's the only thing that could really put a dampener on things. I mean, if you
I don't think it's a worry. I mean, remember he had that long break in January in the beginning of 23. He was off for 6 months. He came out and won a few on the trot. I don't think it's a problem. Yeah, and Rulership's no slow. I mean, Rulership can run, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. Now have a look at the best weighted column, Clyde. You know, he's a top. I mean, he's a champion sprinter, and he's not slunging over here. He's half a kilogram best in. He's giving Tropper Veloce, the filly, how many? 9.5 kilograms. She's decent on her day.
Yeah.
Listen, in my pick 6, I actually included Quantum Theory. Now, if you have a look at the race, last time Dice never got to the front. I mean, he's capable of relaxing behind the pace. We've seen him do that on more than one occasion. So striker obviously knows him in a race, and I mean, Tropa Valacha, you would expect her to make the running with that weight and try steal a march on him. So I think if she stays in a straight line, striker's going to get a great sit behind her. So I think things should pan out well for Dice. I'm hoping he goes back to back. In my pick 6, I've just put number 2, Quantum Theory. Now, I know he disappointed last time out, Clyde, but I'm of the opinion he's better up the straight. He's a really good horse on his day. He's drawn towards the outside. The pace is going to be on. He's going to be another one lashing home towards the end. So I expect Dice to get the better of Quantum Theory and win. I do have respect for the second best weighted in Tropa Valache. So yeah, that's the way I read it. I'm going 1, 2, and 5 in that order.
Interesting. I mean, both Dice and Quantum Theory. It's been quite a while since we've seen them at the Vaal. So they'll be at the Vaal on Tuesday. And Daryl's got the double where he's going 1 and the 2. Quantum Theory is priced up around 7, 8 to 1. And then the last leg is open, as you can see, and that's the recommended double. Okay, the last on the card, this is the Betway handicap. It's over 1,200 metres, up the straight, a nice big field too. I see the 14 is out, so make a note of that, leave you with 14 runners in the race. And this sort of level, at the 66 level, is a kind of quartet you want to catch to end your day. Market as much as you expect, really. It's 4 to 1 the field. Inafix, number 6 on the card, tops the boards. A 2, Aralina, is the second choice at 9 to 2. And then you've got a horse like Samoa, who's priced up at 5 to 1. But we've seen these horses time and time again. And, you know, they basically, form can be inconsistent in when they bump each other. It can change every time they run. So it's a quartet race, Daryl. I mean, I don't know where your headspace is around the race. I saw you had quite a lot of horses in your double and things like that.
I think I've got some value here.
That's good.
Now let's touch on Inafix. Firstly, Clinton Binder's flying. The horse is in great form. There's no reason why he shouldn't be there once again, but he does meet several adverse weight terms. Number 4, Written in Stone.
Yours.
Yeah, and Darren Burrows' horse. I think he won a lot of money on this horse back in the
So
day.
did you. Never mind. You also won a lot.
3 runs back, he bolted up, course and distance, drawn towards the outside. Last time out, he was heavily under sufferance. He actually picked up a penalty for running 4th, but he's a 9-year-old, so make of that what you want. Number 5, After Hours. We touch on the same thing over here. The stable's in cracking form. He is 3.5 kilograms better off with Written in Stone and stronger handling in the irons. Inafix we've touched on. Number 8, Samoa, the 10-year-old Clyde.
Yeah.
10-year-old mare. Gavin's aboard once again. Whenever they team up, they're competitive. She's drawn on the right side. She'll be thereabouts again, taking on the boys. Number 9, a nice roughie for your trifectas and quartets, Clyde. Life goes on. The blinkers are removed. Dennis in the irons and the ratings really come down. Drawn towards the outside. But my sneaker in the pack, and this is also I tipped last time out. And coming into the last race, I knew I was dead in the water because the inside going was finished. And he was drawn 1, and he wasn't disgraced. You know, I know he was beaten 4 lengths by Inafix.
Which horse?
Number 10, Prize Platinum. He was
Platinum.
beaten 4 lengths, but I think he's 5.5 kgs better off, and he's drawn towards the right side. Have a look at his rating now. It's a 59. The stable is flying, Clyde. Flying. Sure. The value for me, number 10, Prize Platinum. But you know what? He let me down last time out. It's a difficult race. Let's try focus on exactas, trifectas, and quartets.
Okay. All right, that's 14 to 1, just by the way, about that horse Prize Platinum. So Daryl does like it. We'll see how all things pan out. Quite a tough race. 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. But if Daryl could, he'd give you more. But I guess in exacta box, the 30 Rand spend is probably the most reasonable thing to do. Thanks.